The news hit Mastodon fans like a thunderclap. Rumors had been swirling for days, but confirmation finally came. Someone close to the band had passed away. Mastodon, known for their heavy riffs and powerful lyrics, had always shared their journey openly with fans. Yet this moment felt different. Grief hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. Social media was ablaze, fans posting messages of love and despair. For weeks, questions loomed. How would the band respond? Who would speak first? Then, after a long silence, Bill Kelliher, Mastodon's legendary guitarist, finally stepped forward. His words were raw, honest, and unfiltered. Fans waited anxiously, scrolling through posts, refreshing pages, desperate for a glimpse into his feelings. Kelliher, known for his quiet demeanor, rarely opened up about personal matters publicly. But this time was different. The weight of loss had pulled him out of his usual silence. Every sentence carried emotion, each word chosen with care. This statement wasn't just news, it was a window into a grieving soul. He spoke about memories, the bond shared, the music that connected them, and the irreplaceable absence left behind. Fans could almost feel the sorrow behind the words, a sorrow that transcended music and fame. It was a moment where human vulnerability collided with rock stardom, reminding everyone that behind the guitars and stages, these were real people experiencing real pain. Kelliher's message became the anchor for the community, a small light in the darkness of loss. It offered not only condolences but insight, a chance to understand what had truly happened. And as fans read his heartfelt words, a shared feeling emerged: grief, yes, but also gratitude for the music, the memories, and the courage it takes to speak out in the wake of tragedy. Bill Kelliher's words painted a vivid picture of the life they had lost. He spoke not just as a bandmate but as a friend, a brother in music. He recalled late nights in the studio laughing over riffs that would later become iconic. He remembered the quiet moments, the conversations between shows, the camaraderie that built Mastodon's unbreakable bond. Fans were struck by the intimacy of his statement. There were no grandiose declarations or media-friendly phrases, only honesty. "They were more than a musician," he wrote. "They were my compass, my anchor, my laughter on the darkest days." Such words carried weight because they came from someone who truly knew the individual, not the public figure, but the person behind the instrument. Kelliher spoke of their shared love for creation, how every song had a story, every tour a memory. He mentioned small, human details, the favorite snack of his friend backstage, the way they hummed melodies during sound checks, the quiet support in moments of personal struggle. These glimpses allowed fans to see the depth of the bond, the human side of rock legends often hidden behind fame and spectacle. As the tribute unfolded, a sense of nostalgia spread across social media. Fans shared their own memories, concerts they had attended, albums that had changed their lives, feeling connected to both Mastodon and the lost friend in a deeply personal way. Kelliher's words had sparked a collective remembrance, a community bound by grief and music alike. It was clear that this wasn't just a loss for Mastodon but for everyone touched by their art. And in the midst of sorrow, Kelliher's statement became a reminder: while life is fragile, music endures, and the connections forged through it last far beyond the final note. For days, fans had been desperate for a response. Mastodon had gone silent, leaving a void that felt unbearable. Every minute stretched like an eternity, every unconfirmed post a fresh pang of worry. The internet filled with speculation, misinformation, and hope, all clashing in a cacophony of emotion. When Kelliher finally broke the silence, the impact was immediate. Silence, after all, carries weight. It magnifies grief, intensifies curiosity, and heightens anticipation. His statement shattered that tension, offering clarity without diminishing the complexity of loss. He wrote about the struggle to find the right words. "How do you sum up someone's life in a single post?" he asked. There was no easy answer. Music journalists, fellow musicians, and fans alike felt the depth of his struggle. Kelliher's honesty about the difficulty of expression resonated deeply. It was a reminder that grief cannot be neatly packaged. This transparency was what made his message so powerful. He did not attempt to shield himself or the public from emotion. Instead, he allowed vulnerability to shine through, turning a personal tragedy into a shared human experience. Fans found themselves reflecting on their own lives, their own losses, and the unsaid words they longed to express. By speaking out, Kelliher reminded everyone that silence is not weakness. It is waiting for the right moment to honor truth. And in that moment, the world heard not just a statement, but the echo of a profound connection, a testament to friendship, music, and the unspoken ties that bind. In his statement, Bill Kelliher emphasized that while one life had ended, the music would carry on. Every note, every chord, every lyric remained, immortalized in the records they had created together. He wrote about listening to old tracks, remembering laughter in the studio, and the creative sparks that had ignited legendary albums. Fans were reminded that Mastodon's legacy was more than performances or awards. It was the emotional resonance of their work. Kelliher's reflections highlighted the power of music as a vessel for memory, a bridge between past and present. Listening to a song suddenly became an act of remembrance, each riff a heartbeat echoing the lost friend's presence. He also spoke about unfinished projects, songs that never saw the light of day, and riffs that remained sketches on paper. His words carried a bittersweet quality, a promise to honor those creations, to keep pushing forward while carrying memories with care. Fans were inspired by his commitment, seeing in his words the resilience that had always defined Mastodon. The statement became a rallying point. Online, fans shared covers of Mastodon songs, videos of concerts, and personal stories of how the band's music had impacted their lives. Kelliher's words reminded everyone that even in loss, art endures, connecting generations and keeping the spirit alive long after a single life has passed. Kelliher didn't just speak about the loss in abstract terms, he shared his own emotional journey. He wrote about sleepless nights, the sudden pangs of memory, and the quiet moments when grief felt unbearable. Fans felt a deep connection to his honesty, recognizing the universal struggle of processing loss. He described moments of disbelief, the surreal feeling of seeing an empty chair on tour, the absence that could not be filled. Yet, he also found glimmers of hope in remembrance, small smiles at old jokes, fleeting laughter at shared memories, and comfort in the music they had created together. The statement was more than an announcement, it was a diary entry, a window into a private world of grief. By opening up, Kelliher validated the emotions of fans, many of whom had experienced loss themselves. The empathy in his words bridged the gap between artist and audience, creating a shared space for mourning and healing. He concluded this reflection with a quiet promise to honor the memory, to continue creating, and to keep the spirit alive through every riff and lyric. Fans felt the sincerity of his commitment, understanding that the pain of loss was entwined with a determination to move forward without forgetting. The reaction was overwhelming. Social media erupted with messages of support for both Kelliher and Mastodon. Fans shared their own memories, concert experiences, and stories of how the band's music had touched their lives. Hashtags and trending topics quickly formed, all centered around remembrance, love, and unity. Many highlighted the courage it took for Kelliher to speak out, noting that public figures often hide grief behind press releases. His heartfelt words had created a safe space for fans to mourn, reflect, and even celebrate the life that had been lost. Messages flooded in from across the globe, from fans who had never met the band personally but felt a profound connection through their music. Kelliher's statement had reminded everyone that grief is universal, and that sometimes the words of one can comfort thousands. The online community became a living tribute, with fans sharing art, covers, and videos. Each post was a testament to the impact of Mastodon's music and the bonds formed between fans and artists alike. Kelliher had sparked not just a conversation but a movement of collective remembrance and healing. Mastodon's other members remained mostly silent initially, letting Kelliher's words carry the message. But soon, the band released a brief joint statement echoing the sentiments of unity, grief, and remembrance. It was clear that while individuals experienced sorrow differently, the bond of the band remained strong. Kelliher's courage to speak first had paved the way for the rest of the band to find their voices. His honesty encouraged them to express emotions that might have remained hidden, reinforcing the idea that strength can coexist with vulnerability. Fans saw a band not just defined by their music, but by their loyalty and compassion for one another. Mastodon's response became a model for how artists could navigate tragedy publicly, showing that love, respect, and honesty were more powerful than any press release. Kelliher's statement also hinted at the future. He spoke about channeling grief into music, about turning sorrow into riffs and melodies that could honor their lost friend. Fans could almost hear the guitars in their minds, riffs born from heartache yet charged with life. Grief, Kelliher suggested, was not an end but a beginning, a new phase of creativity. This idea resonated deeply, reminding fans of the transformative power of music, both for artists and listeners. Through Kelliher's words, the legacy of their friend became tangible. Fans reflected on the albums, concerts, and small gestures that had shaped their connection to Mastodon. Music became a vessel for memory, preserving not just talent but humanity, humor, and heart. Kelliher closed his statement with a note of hope. While grief remained, the future beckoned. Mastodon would continue, carrying the memory of their friend in every chord and lyric. Fans found solace in this promise, understanding that life, music, and love endure even in the face of profound loss.